ones, bro. I was in New York for 6 years.
Say we the real ones? Say we the brown?
The brown ones, bro.
The real Jews, huh?
The real Hebrews, bro.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom, bro.
All right, listen, here's the deal, people. You better wake up. I just heard Jesse Waters mention something about the 1619 agenda from people. Trump mentioned something in his speech last night. Listen, here's what y'all need to realize. Here's what the preachers ain't telling you. Right now in Washington, D.C., there has been a let my people go moment being talked about. This is transatlantic slave trade stuff. These were Hebrew people from the tribe of Yehuda that was enslaved. Judgment is coming to this land. Your leaders ain't telling you about what happened and what's really going on. People, there's going to be a second Exodus. While the churches, at some point it's going to happen. We're going to find out whether this land mass is really the real biblical land or if it is still that land over there. There's a second Exodus that's going to take place, and it's going to take a lot of people by surprise. That's the truth rapture with...
Black Israelite is an oxymoron. That's like saying white George Washington. Okay. George Washington is white. The real Jews are blacks.
Right.
That's the facts.
Okay. So if somebody who wasn't educated listened to y'all's message and thought you were a black Israelite, would you say, yeah, you guys have the general idea, but that's not correct?
I would say exactly what I told you. Like the exact thing that I told you is that because the world is brainwashed by Christianity, right? Because Israel right now is a white superpower who stole the identity, the popular consensus is that they are the real Jews, but really they're culture thieves. They created a fake religion. They converted in the 8th century, around 722 AD. And when they converted, they created a fake religion and stole an identity.
So what happened when they converted? Why did you?
No. The people that you call Jewish today, that you believe to be the Jews, converted to a fake religion called Judaism. That's not who they are not ethnically from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right. Okay. So how did, you said Native Americans, Latinos, and black people, they're the actual descendants of Abraham.
Correct.
Correct. Would you say that's true in a spiritual sense or in a literal sense?
No, in like spiritually, we're God's chosen people, and ethnically, bloodline.
Okay.
Like you can't, like if I asked you your nationality, what would you tell me?
It's kind of a general white.
Just generally white, right? Something along those lines. But you wouldn't tell me you're Chinese. And if you ate every meal with chopsticks, if you put on a chi soup, it wouldn't make a difference. Well, being a Jew is not a religion, it's a blood right. You know what I'm saying? Birthright. You have to be born from one of the 12 tribes of Israel in order to be a part of the nation of Israel.
So you're literally a descendant.
One thing, and you can spot whether or not you're standing in the middle of a psyop. And that one thing is, if the opinion that's coming out needs people to be silenced, it's a psyop. There are psychological operations in play.
Wow. So if you can't question it, if you're supposed to just go along, it's a psyop.
Yeah, and if people have to be silenced or publicly shamed because of their information, and they're not telling people the sky's falling, they're not saying crazy shit. They're just saying basic stuff, and they need to be silenced.
They know who we are.
Tell me about your response to what's going on with Kanye and all of this.
Well, first of all, there is a lot of information that these people are having that seemingly are true, in a sense that many Afro-Americans, they believe that they are part of the Jewish people. I'm not saying that they are or they're not part of the Jewish people. What I'm saying is that there is an idea that some people were part of the lost tribes in parts of Africa. And there is documentaries about it. Rockman, I don't remember too well his name, but he has a commentary on it. He has a documentary on it. So it would be interesting to people to watch it and see by themselves. But there's one problem that what these people are talking about. What is the problem? The problem is that they're trying to collide against the Jewish people. if they think they're Jews or they're part of the Jewish tribes, the lost tribes, whatever they think they are, they should try to unite themselves and not dissipate or create confusion, because a lot of the ideas that these people are bringing are ideas of separation, ideas of confusion. That's one of the points that I think.
Very good. Very, very.
Let's deal with something that people hate to talk about. When Europeans first encountered Jews in Africa, the Middle East, and the islands off of West Africa, they consistently described them as black people. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally black. Source after source confirms it. One record says Catholic missionaries in Luango found black Jews living among the people, and they weren't Africans pretending to be Jews. They kept the laws, circumcision, Israelite customs that Africans around them didn't practice. Another historian writes that in the 15th century, Jews expelled from Portugal were taken to the coast of Ghana and to the island of Saint Tome, and their descendants were described as mulattoes, descendants from Jews, meaning the original group was already dark-skinned. Another source reports Jews still lingering in the Jordan Valley, described by trustworthy travelers as black as any of the Ethiopian races. Further documentation mentions the black Jews of Ondo Forest, tracing their ancestry to the Israelite tribe of Ephraim. Their own traditions said they came through Morocco, maintaining the law and their identity. Other books state plainly the descendants of a colony of Jews, originally from Judea, settled on the coast of Africa, are black. And historians emphasized something important. These Jews remained physically distinct from surrounding African people, meaning their blackness wasn't from African mixing. It was their original phenotype. So here's the logic. Multiple independent European observers across centuries from the Middle East, West Africa, and island colonies all describe Jews as black skin. And with no motive to promote black identity, and describing cultural and religious practices matching ancient Israelites, not African tribes, this is what we call converging testimony. Different sources, different locations, same consistency, same description. The only reason this history was buried is because it contradicts modern narratives. But the documents speak for themselves. Ancient Jews were black, and history proves it. And guess what? That's okay.
The original Hebrew was black. The Jews walk around here talking about I'm Jewish, I'm Jewish, I'm Jewish, but they never say that they're Polish Jews, Russian Jews, they always Jewish. Never Hebrew, nor Israelite. Right. They say Jew. Right. From the land of Judea, whatever they call it. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all teach the truth, the black people need to know the truth, and it's important to know your heritage. They're quick to say I'm mixed with Indian instead of saying that I'm originated from Africa. Everything started in Africa. Egypt is in Africa. The Middle East is in Africa. The Gaza Strip is in Africa. What they fighting over, all of that started in Africa. So I honor and appreciate what y'all giving out and what y'all teaching the people. It's important. You understand what I'm saying? Yahweh all day. God is good.
First question is the million-dollar question for me, is what are the Jews doing in Portugal?
Now, to answer your question, Portugal used to be a kingdom of Iberia, and so was Spain, what is now called Spain. They probably had another name for it at the time. This was one of the countries, if you will, as a matter of fact, under the name of Iberia, when it used to be one, that our Israelite forefathers settled about the year 711. So I can imagine they came from Timbuktu to Cordova and elsewhere in Spain, and they were there for several years, from 711 to about 1500. So I can imagine then that yes, they would be Israelites in Spain and in Portugal and elsewhere in the Mediterranean region.
Now, you said about slavery. The people you're talking about, the Israelites, are they different from the people in Jerusalem today?
The answer to that question would be yes. And to give you the proper details, I would have to go to the scriptures to show the evidence. And in this setting, we are not going to go to the scriptures. We are going to stay within the framework of history.
Hey everyone, just a quick one to say, you do know the term Mizrahi Jews literally simply means Eastern Jews in Hebrew, right? Like, it's not a biblical term, it's not an ancient term, it's not even a traditional term, it's not in the Torah, it's not in the Bible. Mizrahi literally just means Eastern. The term was only coined and used by Israel and their institutions starting in the 1950s, and it was used to differentiate between the European Jews who had come and settled historic Palestine and turned it into a manufactured colony, and the Jews that were coming in from West Asia and North Africa, from the Arab lands. And of course, since they were quite racist, as we know, they needed a term to describe those Eastern people, and so they used the term Mizrahi Jews. And if you needed any more proof about how racist Israel was about this, look up the Israel Black Panther Party, founded in 1971 by Mizrahi Jews. You get that one for free. Hey everyone, just a quick one to say, you do know the term Mizrahi Jews literally simply means Eastern Jews.
See, Yahushua warned us about the last days in the book of Revelations, chapter 3, verse 9, that it was going to be people that's claiming to be Jews and are not, but they're actually liars. So what side of history do you want to be on? The side of history where they lied about the truth, or the side of history where they told the truth? Because the truth is, so-called black people, Hispanic people, and Native American Indians are the real Jews according to history and according to the Bible.
When you were a little boy, your dad sat you down on his lap and said, Captain, little Captain, you're an Israelite, and I'm an Israelite, and my father's an Israelite, and we've all been Israelites.
My father did not say he was a Jew or an Israelite, but my father did give me a good understanding of the Bible. It wasn't until I met Commanding General Yohanan that they was able to give me the spirit of the Lord and my identity of who I am.
So you were told by your general that you're an Israelite?
Well, I was able to trace my lineage back as far as I could, but our book says, don't strive after endless genealogy. So there came a certain generation. I couldn't go past that. So I just know by tracing that and the spirit of the Lord.
How convenient is it when you just gave an entire soliloquy, to quote you, about how terrible and disgusting all other nations who aren't Israelites are, yet you yourself admitted that you don't have certainty of your genealogy. The reality is, if European Israelites claim that they come from the Israelites in the 12 tribes and they have genealogies to trace that, at some point the genealogy breaks off, as it did with you, right? But the reality is, we're dealing with questionable lineages all around. So when we're dealing with a bunch of people who have questionable lineages, don't you think we should focus less on lineage and more on God's commandments, which is actually accessible to us right now?
But that's why, if you notice, I'm talking about your ancestors and how they don't keep Torah.
And I reject that. I followed Leviticus 26 that says, admit your sins and the sins of your fathers. I think my fathers have sinned by rejecting the Torah.
Have you debated them and told them to get their shit together?
Absolutely. That's what my whole channel is dedicated to.
This is Deuteronomy 28:68, and it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. First of all, they never went into Egypt, and even though the original Egypt dwells in Africa, the modern day Egypt today is America and Babylon. When did they go on ships to Babylon in captivity? That never happened. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you. The Ashkenazis, there's no history when they ever went into slavery, into captivity, where they were sold as bondmen and bondwomen, and they remain there to this day. So that's proof they do not fit the descriptions of the Israelites, which the Bible talks about in this precept right here. They are imposters. They are fake Jews. They are descendants of Europe. Europeans, okay? That's who they are.
This video is for educational purposes only. This is not bullying or harassment. Thank you so much for this comment. I have been waiting for this comment ever since I revealed my Woke Jesus t-shirt that I just happen to be wearing right now, and you can grab you one in my TikTok shop. I will link it right below. But let's discuss this. So this comment says Jesus was an Arab Jew, not black. So first off, a few things about me that you should know. I was raised as a Christian. Started off in a Baptist church, then started going to a non-denominational church. I've read multiple versions of the Bible from front to back multiple times, as well as have read it in Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. I was ordained at 16 and have since spent time deconstructing Christianity and where it stems from, its origins, its history, and its effects on America, especially its effects on Black people in America. Now, I say all that to make clear that I am not a Christian, but I will explain to you why I made this shirt after I address the comment. So one thing you gotta understand, right, is that in biblical times, race was not a thing. Now, race is a modern notion, and during the 16th to 19th centuries, it was used more to describe people's nation or ethnic group. It's during the 19th century that it took on the meaning of physical anthropology through scientific racism. Now, you say that Jesus was an Arab, right? Well, what is an Arab? An Arab is a cultural and linguistic term. It refers to those who speak Arabic as their first language. Arabs are united by culture and by history. Arab is not a race. Some have blue eyes and red hair. Others are dark-skinned. Many are somewhere in between. Now, biblically speaking, Arabs, according to the book of Genesis, are the descendants of Ishmael, the 12 tribes of Ishmael, to which the early Muslims are descended. Now, a lot of people like to say that Jesus was from the Middle East, right? So that automatically makes him an Arab, right? Well, you also need to understand that the Middle East did not exist in biblical times. That was not coined until the late 19th century by the British, thanks to Eurocentric geographical terms: Near East, Far East, Middle East. Now, according to biblical encyclopedias, in the Bible, Arabians refers to the nomads who live in the deserts of Arabia, especially in the northwestern part. They are also known by the general term people of the East. Here are some of the tribes of Arabians that were named in the Bible. Now, in the Old Testament, Arabia was often referred to as Kedem, or the East. Now, was Jesus from Arabia? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Yeah, that's right. Jesus was born in a place called Bethlehem, which is a city south of Jerusalem. Let's take it to a map. Here you can see Bethlehem, and here you can see Jerusalem. This is where Jesus was born. But that really doesn't tell you a whole lot, right? Because we're so zoomed in. So let's zoom out a little bit. Now here's the kingdom of Israel in the time of Jesus. And here you can see again, this is where Jesus was born. So for Jesus to be Arabian, he would have needed to be born in Arabia, according to the Bible, right? So where's Arabia? There it is, over here. And where's Bethlehem? Over here. So Bethlehem is not in Arabia. No, Bethlehem is in Israel. You see this yellow line here? Yeah, that's where it stops, the borders of Saudi Arabia. Now the red border here shows where Israel was, right? The Israeli kingdom, the kingdom of King David. But even if we look closely at where these borders for Saudi Arabia end, Jerusalem and Bethlehem are way over there, not within the borders of Arabia. So then by biblical standards, Jesus was not Arabian, therefore was not an Arab. Now your second point is that Jesus was a Jew. Now we know that Jesus was in fact a Galilean Jew. We hear him referred to as the Galilean quite often. But what is a Galilean? The Galileans are descendants of northern Israelites, not northern Arabians. Interesting. We also know that Jesus was descended from the tribe of Judah. Do you see that listed here for the tribes of Arabia? You tell me. So we need to look up what it is to be Jewish. Well, Jewish people are a group originating from those Hebrews and Israelites in the Levant and whose traditional religion is Judaism. Jewish ethnicity, religion, and community are highly interrelated, as Jewish is an ethno-religion, and not all Jewish people follow it. That's right, Jewish is not a race, it's an identity. That's right, Jewish includes individuals of enormously diverse origins and physical appearances. Jewish people cannot be easily designated a specific race. And fun fact, religion is not central to the lives of most US Jewish people. People who are Jewish by religion are much less likely than Christian adults to consider religion to be very important in their lives. And among Jewish people as a whole, far more report that they find meaning in spending time with their family and friends, engaging with arts and literature, being outdoors, and pursuing their education or careers than they do in their religious faith. Huh. So I say all of that to say this. The purpose of my shirt was not to debate about what race Jesus was. My shirt was to point out that Jesus was woke. If you read the quote of Jesus that I have here, it says, "Stand for good," right? "Seek justice and correct oppression." So Jesus was woke, because that's what woke fundamentally means. Now, I just decided that since white people decided they get to make Jesus look like them, I get to make Jesus look like how I want Jesus to look like. Because if you are an actual Christian, right, a true follower of Jesus and his teaching, you wouldn't be bothered by seeing him look like this instead of the blue-eyed, white Jesus that we've gotten for all these years. Because if you're a Christian, like you say you are, if you're not racist like you all claim to be, this should not bother you, because you shouldn't care what race your Lord and Savior is. I just like this one much better. Get yours in the link below. Bye!
For those who get it, get it. All praise to the Most High if you get it. But as an Israelite, when you start to understand, it is a gift that the Most High has extended to you to be able to keep his Sabbaths and feast days. Like, it's a literal gift. And then you look at your own people and you look at the condition of your people who's not keeping the Sabbath, who's not keeping the Most High holy feast days, that's still partaking in Babylon, holidays, madness, indoctrination, and wicked philosophies that they have pushed on the masses. It kind of saddens you. But when you go back and you refer to the scriptures and you realize, like, the Most High gifted you with a day set aside just for his children, the children of Israel, and special feast days to celebrate in honor of him just for you. See, that's the thing. So-called black folks, y'all been tricked to think that y'all don't have y'all own traditions, y'all own cultures, y'all own customs, y'all own book, y'all own laws and stuff, because y'all been so used to the conditioning of the mind from the so-called white man who's taught you how to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, New Year's, Easter, 4th of July, and all of his other madness and wicked holidays that you forget. You had traditions too. You had customs too. You got culture too. Your culture consists of what's inside of the Bible, what the Word of God says. We have our own feast days, our own high holy days. Like, we're not supposed to be partaking in these wicked holidays with them because we got our own feast days. But I want to bring out this precept just to remind you, Israelites, you so-called blacks, even those that still sleep and ignorant as to who you are and what the Most High require of you. This is 2 Maccabees, it's 6:6. It say, "Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feast days or profess himself at all to be a Jew." Y'all, we come from some treacherous times. It was a time you wasn't allowed to keep the Sabbath. It was a time you wasn't allowed to keep the Most High feast days. And there definitely was a time where you was not allowed to profess yourself at all to be a Jew. But I find it so funny and I laugh. I woke up this morning, I was just laughing because I was just like, all that energy, time, effort, lies, and money that the so-called white man put in to hide so-called black people identity, which you are the true Israelites, the children of God, the children of Israel. He did all that for naught. Because guess what? We still know who we are. We the Israelites. You better put some respect on it.
Now, who are the Israel? So Isaac was a man of African descent. To use today's language, we can say he was a colored. His mother was an Arab or Jew, and his father was an African. Now, Isaac had two children, Esau and Jacob. Jacob and Esau were grandchildren of an African. And now Jacob came to be known as Israel. Now, who are the Israel? They are the children of African people. And that's why when Jesus was born, who was an African, Jesus wanted Palestine to be liberated from the Jews and the Romans. But the Jews were a Bantustan of the Romans. So Jesus, an African, was a threat to the Jews who were puppets of the Romans, and he was a threat to the Romans themselves. And they killed him and said, he's dying for our sins. Which sins? He died for the liberation of Palestine. He was never a Jew, so the Israelites are not Jews, and then the Jews are white people, and he actually, strictly speaking, they descended from people called the Hyksos, and now the Israelites descended from Africans.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Furaha. If you're joining us for the first time, if you have never been here before, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for watching the video, and especially watching the video to this point. I know it has taken your time and you did not have to do it, but you did it anyway to support me, to support your girl. I'm so happy and privileged to have you on my channel today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that. Be part of us, be part of this amazing journey of learning and relearning, and that is the whole point of this channel. Now, if you're interested in stuff to do with Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, Black people in general, Black community, and all that, please feel easy to subscribe, be part of us, and you're always more than welcome to be here any other time. Now, guys, on today's video, we're talking about something that we have discussed before. We have been talking about this thing, and white people keep giving us reasons to talk about it even more now. When we're talking about Black people being the chosen people, that is something that does not sit right with white people, because for the longest time, these people have always taken that credit. They have always been making it look like they are the ones, that they are the chosen ones, and they know that that is not true. And for you to be talking about something way too much, it means that you definitely have a problem with it, because you know the truth, you know the reality of things is that you are not. And you see, when you're looking at it geographically, when you're talking about it in terms of race, when you're talking about it in terms of bloodlines, you definitely realize that these people are mistaken, they are misled, yeah? But they do not want to accept that. They do not want to come to terms with the fact that they are not, because this is what they have been taught, this is what they have learned to believe, because everything good apparently belongs to the white man. And once you tell them that this is not for them, for once, they are unable to process that information, they are unable to accept it, they're unable to live with that fact around them, because that is not who they have been taught to be, that is not who they have been programmed to think like. They know that they are worthy of everything good, while at the same time, Black people are not worthy of anything good. Now, Black people have tried to explain these things, and they have tried to make sure that these people understand that really, when you're looking at the genetics of things, when you're looking at the hereditary, when you're looking at the bloodlines, it tells you clearly that there's no way the Israelites are white people. There's no way. There's no chance. And when you're talking about Israelites, you're talking about, bloodline. You're not basically talking about someone being, the same way that this guy in the video has explained it. It's not about someone just basically coming from wherever, It's about someone having that in their blood, This is where they can trace. This is where they came from. This is how their tree, their family tree looks like. Now, if you're not part of that tree, you're not. There's nothing that is going to make you part of it. If you're not, You're just basically not. Now, white people do not want to accept that. They do not want to wrap that around their heads, because for them they always have to win, and they will fight whatever fights that they know. This is a losing battle, but they will still fight. Now, I know you have your thoughts, you have your ideas, you as a black person, as a white person, as Asian, as whatever. Please let me know that in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this, and how long are we going to have this discussion of people always fighting, we are Israelites, we are not, these are the true ones, these are not. For how long? And when are white people going to be interested in taking in the truth? When are they going to accept? It's as simple as accepting and trying to be part of the chosen people. And black people do not have a problem, welcoming them, but they also have to just accept the truth. They have to accept reality if they are to be helped in any way. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you agree to whatever is being discussed over here in this video, please let me know. If you don't, please also let me know why you have to say what you have said. If you have learned something, if you haven't, all that. Please, I really will use that kind of feedback. Let me know what you think, and share this video to like-minded people, friends, family, people that would be interested in black people affairs, people that love to interact with content that is talking about, for example, this topic that we have handled over here today. Please let them know, let them have this discussion, and let's spread the knowledge widely, because some of this information is hidden by white people so that it doesn't get to black people. Most black people do not have access to such information, because they know that if black people have access to this kind of information, they will be empowered. They will feel better about themselves, and they will be re-energized, and they will do even better at life. But then they know that that kind of effect is not what they want. So they'll make sure that they have hidden this kind of information, even on platforms such as this. They'll make sure that it doesn't reach as many people as possible. So please make sure that you're sharing this video to your friends, to your families, to groups, people that would use this kind of information as we grow, as we become better and better each day. So guys, I also hope that you have been keeping safe from wherever you're watching me from. I hope that everything is running smooth, everything is slow but easy. Okay, I have been off for quite some days, but I'm back, and I'm happy to find that you're still here and watching my videos. Guys, I don't know what time you're watching me from, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I will see you on my next one. Bye for now.